Oh, that's
wait.
interesting.
What's up? What's going on?
Don is not managing.
Welcome to the Imagine It Yourself version of the stream.
What?
Hold
It's
on.
going
Hold
on.
on. I can fix this.
Okay, there we go.
Good man.
Hey, I'm a professional.
The
I've done
background
this
was
before.
like the foreground, right?
Yeah. What's interesting is like when I'm lit, like or filmed from underneath like this, I feel like a Bond villain. Like it's really, it's not an angle you see often.
It would be the nicest Bond villain ever.
Yeah. I expect you to die, please.
Get a cat first.
I do have a laser though. At least I have that like Bond villain thing going. I got a bunch of
Maybe
lasers.
an Austin Powers
True.
villain.
Yeah, exactly. Enforcing sweaters on the world during summer. Hello. Welcome, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to all my co-hosts, my friends, all of our friends in the chat who are joining us.
There's Randy.
Is
Yo.
$1 billion, maybe, if it's not inconvenient. Welcome back. So Rayjet Challenge. Now that we're only getting to do these a little bit less frequently, I really miss them. So I always love getting to do this stream every month. We love having you guys back to join us. Obviously, as always, say hello in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. Thank you, Randy. I should say, too, if you guys missed our stream, was it last week we did, Miguel, where we did the material? No, it was 2 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks already? Oh, my God.
Yep.
Time flies.
I know. Time flies, yeah.
I did a great stream with Miguel where we announced our Udemy course, Laser Basics and Beyond. Do you want to tell us a little bit about it, Miguel? Just like really quick in a nutshell kind of thing?
Sure.
I'm just put you on the spot.
Let's do it. Yeah, and like it's a small success, by the way. Like since then, I think we had like 15 enrollments since that stream.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. So it's a Udemy course taking you from the basics of Illustrator and making you or helping you make a project that's, in my opinion, is fairly advanced, right? So I'll teach every tool that I think is not only necessary but a nice to have, right? Yeah, it's showing the finished project that I did, right? Became a background for a coffee, whatever. It's not a coffee lounge yet because we don't have the coffee machine there, but we will. We shall.
Coffee.
The coffee machine is still in the kitchen. So, yeah. But yeah, and you can ask me questions there. We had some questions that are in the comment section. You can, if you enroll on it, you can also directly have a conversation with me about your project and how can I help you. And also, it's not exclusive for Trotec lasers. It's Illustrator based, so you can use those techniques that I'm teaching you with any laser. So,
Absolutely.
There you go.
There's also, if you check out the recording of the stream on our YouTube channel until the end of this month, there's still a coupon code that Miguel gave out in the description of the YouTube video, so you guys can check that out. Save I think
50%,
half off.
50, 60, yeah, something like that.
Oh, thank you very much, Randy. By the way, the backsplash turned out. That was one of those ones that Lev and I ended up doing, and I think it would have turned out nicer if Miguel had gotten to help us with it.
He teases me with that thing. Like, he comes up out of nowhere, like, look at what we're doing. And then he takes like some pictures. I'm like, oh man, I wish I was there. So, yeah.
Thank you very much for saying so.
I miss creating stuff.
So definitely, sorry, forgive me. I want to get things on the road today because we have a lot to get through. Miguel's going to try and help me to show you guys a cool technique and to back us up as always to actually do some technique. We have two very, very talented designers along with us. First and foremost, I will jump over to Thomas. How are you, sir? I'm putting you first because Thomas is actually, in celebration of Father's Day, the only dad on the stream at the moment.
True. It's this Sunday, so I'm making myself a gift, basically.
Very cool. Yeah. Treat yourself, sir. Treat yourself. Yeah. Thomas Enchantourneur on Instagram, on Facebook. You can also check out his web store that went up recently in the last few months. What was the URL for the web store? Is it also Enchantourneur?
Enchantourneur.be.
BE, awesome. I will have it up in a banner at the end here that you guys can see. But definitely check out Tomas's work online. You can see the spelling of the name right there on screen. He is an incredibly talented woodworker and designer. Moving right along.
You can see his background. Like I know, like half of those things.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Like,
We're also
there's like 2 pieces of giant wood there.
hello. I have to say, I can't speak for the UK, but it is currently very warm here. I will not keep us on the weather because I always seem to do that. But I will say, I've realized in talking to Miguel, who's from Brazil, that I have no idea what hot actually is. Like, I have no idea what a hot summer is. I've been so spoiled here that, like, I think I know what a hot weather is, and Miguel's like, no, you know nothing.
To be honest, the only time in my life that I got a sunburn was in Canada. So
Really?
take that, Canada. Yeah. Like, I think the second week I was there, it was 2019 summer or 2018 summer. I don't remember exactly what the year that I came to Canada. So I walked through Toronto. I mean, it was the first time I was walking around Toronto, and I walked from like 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. just walking. Okay. By the way, I didn't take like any Ubers or like bus drives or anything like that. So, and the day actually finished at like 9:30 p.m. Like when it was something like that, like 9 p.m. The sun was still in the sky, and I was like, what the fuck? And anyway,
it's like
next
the Arctic
day,
here. It's a lot like
basically next day I couldn't even touch my skin, and like I was feeling completely dehydrated, and I was like, oh my god, what happened? Well, I came out of a very hot town to get sunburned in Canada. So I think the Canadian summer is actually pretty hot. Like it doesn't.
It can be bad, man. It can be bad. It takes you by surprise. That's the thing, right? It takes you by surprise. Yeah. Speaking of takes you by surprise, this is not even a segue. Amy, who is likely the most consistent designer we have from week to week, and I don't know why. That was I don't know. Boy, I'm really trying. So if you guys have not seen one of our streams before, I implore you to go back and see the incredible work that Amy has done with us on the Rayjet streams in the past, all the way back into, like middle of 2020. Amy has consistently week over week put out something really, really great with us. She is so kind as to join us for these very silly streams that we do. And no matter what, if Miguel and I maybe overreach what we think we can do in an hour, Amy always delivers. So no pressure, of course, to Amy, but I mean, you guys should definitely check her out. Mischief Pop on Instagram. Amy has some amazing work. She's a talented illustrator and designer. I do not want to keep us. Also, Amy is Team Corel. So if you have any Corel questions in the chat, obviously, Tomas and Miguel can be your illustrator go-tos, but Amy will be your Corel go-to, and I will be here to bring them up full screen and to fix the backgrounds and things like this. Why don't we kick things off, though? I know Lev is not with us today, so you'll see far fewer like changes in the screen and thing, but I can feel him like psychically in the next room, like, come on, like move it along.
So, yeah, the production level is gonna like be a little bit off today, but
you'll see. But we're so glad you guys are joining us. So any questions, as always, toss them in the chat. Shall we get started? Miguel, do you want to show us show me what you're working with?
Absolutely. And I should start with, I know I say that I'm not going to shadow myself like every time that we do this, and I end up doing it. But today I actually am not doing that, right? So I'm not. It's going to be a simple engraving, and I'm showing just a cool thing that, the Rayjet Manager can do. If you still use a Rayjet and you never upgraded to the Rayjet Manager, you won't be able to do that. So, okay. Actually, Thomas have a lot of examples for that later. Like after I show you guys this, I can show you some matrices that he did in that mode, right? So I'm gonna share my screen. And
I didn't realize, can the mini manager not do this?
Nope. The mini manager doesn't have the color mode. No.
Ooh, no spoilers.
So here we are. This is the design that I put together, right? Like, I'm not gonna say that I did this because I was just, finding some free vectors and like changing some stuff here and there. But this is what I put together. So we have two designs here. One, we're gonna do a patch, right, in a 2-color leather, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is an example of how one color engraving, one solid color, can engrave in a two-color material and give you a two-color result. But what we're gonna do with the other one here is using the color mode in our printer driver to do a 4-shade engraving. So each color will represent a different power setting, speed setting, Z offset, and in the end result, they'll have different shades, so they will pop up some different parts of the design. And yeah, that's basically it, because at the end of the day, Mini Manager cannot do that. It doesn't have the color mode, but Rayjet Manager does. So, it's a good way to show that. Thomas, though, he made like 20 different show
I did all my stock.
Yes, all the stock of
I did all
wood
of this.
in matrices. So it's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Oh,
it
that's so
shows
cool.
different shades and
forever.
power settings.
It takes a long time, but there is
Yeah.
like 100
sure.
reasons why this is a valuable thing to have.
Yes.
And I wanted to check if I could just pre-cut the squares of the different wood, because the settings are the same for every wood you will test, because matrices is just a baseline. So I don't care about speed and so on. So instead of doing one matrices at the time, I use my full length of bed and put 6 of them. But when you do the average time for each, is the same. So
Nice. That's how you know you're doing it right.
it was a nice test.
Yeah, and this is because like the speed of the engraving on left to right is much faster than stepping down. So you can put all of them side by side, and there you go. Right? Again, this is only possible with the color mode. If you try to do that with Order Day 3, it's not going to pick up different colors unless it is rasterized, right? So if you're trying to engrave, for instance, a picture, somebody's photo or something like that, it will pick up the different shades and different like lights and darks, and it will engrave accordingly if you're using either Order Day 3 or Jarvis or Stuckey or Flint Steinberg. But color mode, it picks up the vector color, right? So if you change the vector color and then you go into the printer driver, which I'm going to show you right here. It's going to be a little bit messy because to show the printer driver, I got to share my entire screen. So if you print this, the Jet Manager, we're going to get there eventually. Okay, setup, preferences. So when you put the color mode here, you can go to the setting and change each color to engrave and change the settings accordingly to the shade that you want. So normally, the higher the power, darker the engraving, so lower the speed, same thing. So we're going to do different settings for these. And I sent that to Don already so he can test it, because we're doing, it's not going to be a golf kit per se, because it's not going to be the whole thing yet.
Yeah.
But it could be just parts of the golf kit. We wanted to do everything, but then again, you know how that goes. When we want to do a lot of things, nothing gets done. So,
inevitably, yeah.
So now it's going to be a patch for a glove and the pant case, because Don's dad is a golfer, and apparently his family likes to golf. I know nothing about golf. Actually, I had to learn yesterday, so I know what an eagle is, an albatross, a bogey, a par.
The birds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Birds.
No, you're exactly right. My whole family is like really big into golf, except me, as you may have guessed. But it does mean that, I don't know, like when I was a kid, gift giving, especially around like Father's Day and stuff, became really, really easy. This is exactly the sort of stuff, though, like the kind of things that I've been fooling around. I don't think we'll have time to do them today necessarily, but I might try and do some for our Instagram post later. But the kind of things that I've been doing around just to test, like doing, I don't know if you guys will be able to see that, but like,
T. I never knew that like that was called a T.
Just for the record, my dad is the same initials as I do, so that's not me doing a T for myself. But like doing.
What is his name? Douglas Connell?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I swear to God, that's exactly right.
Okay, so
like,
there we go.
Yeah, you can even do like on the sides of tees and things. You have to get a little bit creative. I mean, I've just been using some of our foam as a way to either prop them up or put them on their side or whatever it might be. But have a little bit of fun. Miguel's exactly right though. I bought this cheap golf glove for like $9. So we are going to make it into a more special golf glove with a cool like customized patch. And you might have seen me working here. I've just been masking off this thing. Unlike Thomas, so the thing is, this would be really easy for us to show you if we use Trotec wood, because Trotec wood tends to be really, really good. And I think I didn't want to give you the wrong impression. The matrices you saw is done using our Trotec wood, and I love that stuff. We have these old pen cases lying around in our showroom from many moons ago. This wood is not from Trotec. It's not my favorite, but it will be the proof. If we can get this to work on this wood, which does not necessarily engrave very nicely, you'll know that we've really nailed the technique. So
to be more precise, it doesn't engrave very nicely because it burns a lot. So it's kind of hard to show a different contrast when everything gets burnt like too quickly.
Right.
So
maybe so I'll start. Like I'll toss the file and we'll do a first version and we can go check out what Thomas and Amy are doing. Is that cool?
All right, let's go.
Thomas,
Okay.
what did you decide to make for Thomas?
Okay. A long time ago, I had an idea. I'm sharing my screen now, and I've already started working on this. I drawn a kind of parchment. Okay. And I thought it was a good idea to put, for instance, at a wedding at the table with the name of the guests. But as the theme of today is Father's Day, I thought it was a good idea. From school, children usually bring a kind of poem, something they learn by heart to say to their dad. Mm-hmm. And usually it's just a word or just something material, but something cheap. And I thought it was a good idea for Mother's Day or Father's Day in this case to engrave the short poetry that the child will learn by heart. Maybe put the date below and with the name of the child, and that could be in wood, a nice memory to preserve from that occasion. So here I take my first drawing. I am planning to do it with several layers to create the depth. Instead of just engraving a plate, it has to stand up vertically on a furniture, and I will engrave. So here I've looked for a kind of seal, and I looked for a nice Gothic D calligraphy. And now I will think about some decorations to add and some text to add to the engraving. So
that's really cool.
Fancy stuff.
Man, I'm so glad that you guys went like Thomas. I'm glad you chose something that was like sentimental and nice for father, because obviously there was the like Miguel and I were tempted to just do something like 101 greatest dad jokes or whatever, right? Like that was like just engraved and it says like pull my finger or something.
We kind of knew that because at the end of the day he's the real father here, right? Like he would come with something more,
Absolutely. I really love this though. You can see too that you really have been working on, because you talked about in one of our first streams we had with you, I believe, working on scroll work, like hand illustrating scroll work style, and you can see that you've been like, this is kind of after several months of work, right? That this is all like hand drawn in.
Now, this is just a scroll, but the scroll work itself is just coming hard for the moment because I have really big trouble to make the shading. And the nice scroll work is about the shading and the 3D effect that you extract of it. And I don't have the time to test it with the wood engraving, but I'm pretty confident that during the summer there will be some drawing that I will digitalize and then put into the laser and see what's coming up.
That's really cool.
We'll see.
I wanted to call that out too, because both, I think it's fair to say both Thomas and Amy work predominantly by, or in a lot of cases by hand illustrating something first before like scanning or digitizing it or drawing it electronically, and then using that as kind of the basis for their designs, which are so different oftentimes than what Miguel and I do. or what I should say, what I do. I shouldn't speak for Miguel. I've seen him hand draw stuff. I've seen him draw with a mouse, which still blows me away. But Amy, did you want to maybe I'll pop over to your screen and you can sort of tell us a bit about like what you've got on the go?
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to be doing a breakfast board.
Cool.
It's like a slice of toast that holds.
It's already shaped like a toast. I was going to say.
I've got it here. So I'll be engraving some egg puns onto it for my dad.
Excellent. Is your dad the sort of dude who would love a good like egg pun?
Yes.
Classic. We should ask Tomas. I feel like they make you do a test when you become a dad of like your love for puns. We should I was gonna say, I feel like they make you do a test when you become a dad of like, do you love the classic dad things? Like, do you like, blasting your loud music while you drive your kids to school, or like, all the things that
I don't know yet.
We will see.
But don't spoil me the end, please.
Yes. Yeah, I haven't gotten there yet, but we'll find out. Oh man. I was gonna say maybe I shouldn't say this, but when we got on the stream before we started, the first thing that Tomas, Miguel, and I wished him Happy Father's Day, and he says, "Yeah, the tiredness is real." I think, really? Yeah. But the
experience is nice.
Absolutely.
Wait, Dad, you were a toast? Is that it? Something like that? Like
it's gonna be egg themed, I think she said, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be egg themed. So
all right, I'm starting on my first engraving. I'm going to see if I can swap cameras here so you guys can see this happening. But Miguel, would you be able to tell me like a little bit of so like Miguel gave me a few tips before we started. I mean, listen, Miguel's going to be a better person to explain this, but like what are the parameters that I'm adjusting to get a different like color or a very noticeable difference between the different colors? You know what I mean? If somebody wants to emulate this technique, what are the things that they're going to ratchet up and down to try and get the best like bang for their buck kind of thing?
If you're doing it properly, I think every single setting, maybe not speed,
if you're not done.
Yeah, power and
tell me how to do it properly.
You should change it. But we personally, since we're in the strain and we don't want to mess around a lot with the settings right now, like when something more consistent, we left the offset and the speed roughly the same for all the settings, and we only changed power. I think the highest one is 80%. And then it goes to 65%, and then goes to 50%, and then 35%, something like that. So these are the power increments for each color to give different shades in the wood. But again, we're kind of eyeballing here because we didn't do a proper material matrix like Thomas did with 25 pieces of wood, so you can see all types of shading. Ideally, that's what we would have done, A Ron engraving? What is a Ron engraving?
I think he meant to say a Dawn engraving. Well, believe me, it's going to be a Dawn. It's going to be a heck of a Dawn engraving. You'll see when it comes out, but that's why I have Miguel here to help me.
Yeah, there's no more shadowing today. It's only condoling. So
that's right. That's right.
Something goes off. Yeah.
It's the opposite where like you're trying to do something safe and then ruined by your own ambition or your own ineptitude.
Every 6 months, I'm going to do something safe like this. So expect the next one to be like a little bit before Christmas, because Christmas, we got to, blow it out of the park again.
True.
Just like we did last time with gingerbread houses. And that was amazing.
Still Miguel's favorite, I think.
Yep. That was crazy, dude. Like, that was completely insane to me. I never thought we would pull it off, and everybody put it off. I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool. Okay, he deleted himself out of the stream.
Sorry, just so I can focus the camera, just so you guys don't have to watch like fuzzy square for a second. Hold on.
Oh, by the way, tomorrow it's actually Valentine's Day in Brazil. Remember I told you?
Oh yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tomorrow is our Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day.
I realized I can't actually focusing the camera takes two hands, so I can't actually add myself back into the stream. So I'm doing this backwards, so it is just the worst visual experience.
Okay, so the engraving looks nice, but like I told you guys, it's burning too much. So the difference between shades is not that big.
Yeah.
So we have to kind of offset that.
So when you say offset,
Offset by like by the result, not the settings itself.
not literally
so,
the offset, yeah.
yeah, not literally the offset. So, for instance, if
Okay.
everything is burning too much, we gotta go down in power. Because we only want that dark of an engraving in the golf ball and in the golf dad. Right? Maybe a little bit less in the golf dad, but yeah.
Please do the engraving and then post it on Instagram. Or please, if you guys try this engraving or a similar engraving, a color style engraving, and post it on Instagram and tag us, I will make sure we repost it. I mean, barring, but
you say that with like Amy and Thomas in the stream, like they're definitely gonna do it. Especially Amy. Amy likes like
oh my gosh,
do illustrations from the stream using us.
I think I've had people accuse me of like just trying to be nice to our guests. No, like there's photographic proof. Like if you look at their Instagrams, like it's clear that like they, especially like anything that I've made. I'm not going to speak to Miguel. Like I think Miguel has done some cool projects, but anything that I've made on this stream has just been.
Johnny's here with a picture that looks like he just came out of a Lord of the Ring movie. That's amazing.
What? Who
Guys,
is this imposter?
I have to tell you,
Yeah.
so Johnny sent me an email saying he was unfortunately not going to be able to be on the stream today, but he also mentioned that he liked the backsplash and said if he had some time at some point, he might try and do his own version of the backsplash. And I want to really encourage him to do that. I think it's such a cool application. I really want to try and encourage others to try that one out.
God.
There we go. Okay.
Did you call him an imposter?
Yeah.
The photo wasn't the same. It's a
Johnny.
different dude.
Where's the classic Johnny that we all know and love? I'm going to share my screen. So Miguel, I'm going to hopefully have you help me with some of these settings. I said it's a bit wonky to do this, but
It was like a Peter Jackson directed photo. Okay, so
It was
what's
beautiful.
up?
and my axe and my laser. God, I'm so sorry.
Oh, God, you know that he's gonna do something with that, right? No.
Okay.
Okay, so settings, color mode. As you guys can see, they're in the halftone. So go back a little bit, so we can show that. Yeah, color mode, everything's fine. So we go to engrave, and as you guys could see, it's kind of burnt out, like everything, right? And even though the settings are fairly good, I believe in a good wood, it would be fine. You would see different shades. This one, I think we should offset the power a little less. However, you can see the Sask name. It was kind of we didn't engrave well, did it?
It's there, but it's very faint. I think if I took the tape off, it might disappear.
Yeah. So it could also be that like the power necessary to go over the tape, it's burning enough of the wood that's like there's no contrast there. So yeah, instead of 70, 40, 50, do like 45, 35, and keep the 30 because I don't think. Yeah.
Maybe slow it down even more. What do you think?
The green one?
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. A little like that.
Okay.
So, yeah, so you try that, and after that, you try the laser leather.
All right.
Don't wait too much of that. But yeah, guys, so the idea here is that we're trying that, like we're trying to give different shades. And as you saw Thomas' material matrix, you can see that is actually possible. But you have to kind of figure it out, the settings as you go.
I just wanted to pop up. So Johnny mentions too, Rayjet Manager is a great software, flexible and easy to use. And I mean, he's exactly right. Miguel's right too, but part of wanting to show this off was the fact that being able to do this color mode is pretty cool. Like at this point, the difference between Rayjet Manager and Job Control is getting less and less and less. Although Ruby, Thomas,
Did you see that?
Which one? The
Never thought I'd buy it side by side with a Canadian.
Is there a question coming to my direction?
I was
What
gonna,
is it?
yeah. I hate to interrupt you guys when I can see that you're right in the middle of doing stuff, but I was gonna ask if you're still using Ruby as your principal, like, design thing, and how you're refining it as it gets. I mean, it's got one more update coming this month, and then the final release coming next month.
I did my matrices on Ruby.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah, and it was impressive how fast it was just to copy paste the matrix on the bed and redo it and relaunch your work with another piece of wood and the only thing was to find a workaround, because in Ruby and job control, how to set the speed and power to different materials is very, very different.
Yes.
So for instance, in job control, you have your material and then you have your 16 color, and then you can put everything line by line. In Ruby, my understanding is you need to create first the power and speed setting, if I'm thinking this correctly.
I think
so. And then you create
different effects.
And you add one color at a time, the parameter. So,
you have to create different effects for every.
So it's a bit of
parameter.
shift when you think about how to set the technical spec of your material. And once you have figured this out, it's just another way of working. So it's nice.
It's much easier.
Yeah.
One last. I appreciate that, Thomas. One last thing I will mention. Johnny mentions that he still needs to try your challenge of engraving butter. So just so you know, he hasn't forgotten, and you don't need to lose any sleep, that it will be coming at some point in the future. I like Amy. I like the face palm. It's like this is the representation of the UK is the balance between like Amy's professionalism and Johnny getting to be silly. So I have the second engraving underway. I should mention too, I think Miguel is right that like if this were maybe a higher quality wood, that it would be something a little bit different, because even these golf tees, like we were able to figure those out in 2 or 3 tries, right? But this stuff is a little bit of a yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I didn't do as much tests as Thomas did, but I believe like harder woods engrave nicer with that power difference, right? Because you can always get darker, but to get lighter, even like 30% power, it's engraving too dark if you don't put the masking tape, you know?
Yep.
It's kind of like the default engraving color of that wood is black. So it's not like a shade of brown or something like that. So that gets a little bit hard on the quality.
They start to look like I'm drawing them in Sharpie. Okay, let me try this. So Joey mentions they're just learning Corel Draw, and they're saying that it's easier actually with Ruby. I'm really glad to hear that. I mean, anything you can elaborate, Joey? Like, what are the things that you're enjoying about it? What are the things that you're not enjoying? Also, I mean, good choice on Corel Draw. That's some good, powerful stuff. Let me just switch over to this can here. Sorry again for the camera work. It's like backwards, so I'm going to very deftly. Nope. Yep, you love to see it. Let's go. Okay, so they do look almost identical. This is the new one here. So the Sask is definitely an improvement. Like, it's definitely gotten.
Have you tried one color to make several bases?
That's an interesting idea.
But you think it can get darker than that?
Maybe not darker, but more depth. So you create more relief.
Almost like a 3D effect.
Yeah.
Well, tell you what, Miguel's right. Let's jump over to the laser leather for a minute, and I'm going to try and come back to this if we can.
Yeah.
Pop over to my other camera.
Oh, damn. It's amazing. You never find the right font when you look for it.
Either that, yes. Either that, or I don't know about you guys, but can you not spend like an hour just looking at different fonts and being like, well, I like this one.
Oh, yes.
I like the letter of this one. I was inspired by Thomas, and I've been trying to, in my spare time, do a little bit of like learning how to draw black letter characters. It's like the big, like old Gothic characters.
And how is it going?
This, you know, it's going. It's fun. You know what? The process is fun, so it doesn't matter if the end result isn't very good yet, because it is not. But I thought at some point this year, maybe I would like. I'll do a challenge here where I'll get Miguel to design something, and then I'll give him like a custom font or a font that he has to use in the design somewhere. I'll throw him a curveball partway through.
You know, I would be up for that, right?
Of course.
It's just that we need to do this by the end of the stream. Like, it has to be done. That's the hard part.
Yes.
1 hour is never enough.
Never enough. If you're you and me. I think the weak link in the chain here is pretty clear to identify, and it is me. But I think, you know,
to be honest, you got a harder job now because you're hosting and engraving, right? Before you were just host and like make everybody feel comfortable with dad jokes and like some weird ass references from your nerd knowledge. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'm not that good of a host. I mean, I did host your birthday stream, but that was it.
I disagree. I think you were very good. Okay, laser leather is ready to go. How are things turning on your side, Amy? How's the breadboard?
Just about to laser engrave. Just need to unwrap the wrapping.
Nice.
Oh, jeez.
I was gonna say like.
Oh, this is not a toast. Isn't it like a cutting board?
Yeah, it's like a chopping board.
You just have a big wood toast.
I thought she was gonna make like a huge toast. I was like, what is that? Like that your toast?
I do. It is pretty funny. I do think like I mean, not to beat a dead horse, but like, you want to know how professional Amy is. Like, not only does she have the item, but then she's already gone to Google to pull up the picture of it so that it can show on stream, to then like, and here's one I made at home kind of thing, right? To like pull the breadboard out from under the desk and like be ready to go.
Oh boy.
Okay.
I mean, she kind of went off. She didn't even say bye.
Oh, darn it. Let's see.
There she is.
There she is.
Sorry about that.
That's fine. It happens. Oh,
I'm going to engrave.
the outlaw. You never have to apologize for that. Literally, my own phone autocorrects my name to Ron. Well, it's such a betrayal. Okay. So let's see here. So I'm swapping over to the all black and white version of this file, right, Miguel?
Yes. With a cut line.
With a cut line.
Remember to use a different parameter.
Oh yes, true. Just make sure this is 0.001. Line didn't illustrate.
If you had Ruby, you didn't need to do that.
Also true. I have to say, I'm not too proud to mention that during the stream where Miguel was talking all about the Udemy course and showing some cool stuff, he also taught me some things in Ruby that I had never seen before. Miguel is getting to be like the in-house expert a little bit. Miguel, I mean, there are a couple people, certainly don't, you guys don't need to suddenly flood Miguel with all your Ruby questions. But at the same time, he really is starting to know his stuff. He was the first one to tell me about effects, and I think effects is pretty cool.
I mean, you can't flood me with Ruby questions. Yes, Ruby so far is pretty straightforward, to be honest. So there's like half.
Sorry, Miguel. I've just done a quick jig of the outline, so I know where to place it in the machine. If anyone wants to know how I've done that.
Smart.
Huge toast.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's like one of these things where, yeah. What'd you make today? I mean, well, first I cut out a giant piece of toast, and then, okay. I'm going to try these power settings, and then Miguel's going to let me know what I did wrong. Okay. I'm sorry, Miguel, though. I interrupted you. You were saying about asking Ruby questions and Ruby being cool.
Sorry? Oh, yeah. You can go ahead and create some tickets or a lot of tickets asking about Ruby because Ruby is fairly simple to use. I know this is like a workflow shift from job control, but I wouldn't mind answering anything because, like I said, I think it's pretty straightforward. what they did with Ruby. So any questions might be easy to answer, or just straight up be like, we still don't have that feature. It's coming up, but we don't have it.
Start engraving here. Yeah, I should say, in deference to our guests today, one of the big features that's going to be coming up soon is being able to import CDRs and AIs directly into the program. So it's not ready yet, but I think it's in the pipeline here for the next few months. So I'm very, very, very excited for that. Let's see here.
There we go. One less click, or like a few less clicks.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, every click I can save
Counts.
Exactly. Well, and that's why. So, in terms of that, like time saved, I mean, I'm sure Thomas, you can speak about this at length, but like when you're doing bigger production jobs, when you're doing a ton of things, every little bit of time you can save is helpful.
Yeah.
Can you tell us like why making all those matrices was a good, like why you would go to the trouble of making them all in advance? Like what?
Because I was pissed to every time readapt or not remembering the settings I did. And I know that job controls remembers everything basically, but because I don't want to screw this out. But in the end, if the piece is big, if the piece is small, if the engraving I want to make is slightly different, I need to retest another parameter. So now I have those matrices. I can see directly that for 100, a power of 100 and the speed of 30, I get this color out of this wood. And this will save me countless hours, not for one piece, of course, not for one pendant, necklace, or just a candle holder. But if you put everything back together on a year, that can make it.
Absolutely.
Definitely does. I think everybody that does like even mild production should have a ton of mature matrices, just to save that amount of time.
I agree. The other thing too, if you're doing work for clients, so when Amy's breadboard business takes off and she's able to, like, people see the stream and they're like, I want one of those big toasts, man. I got to get one of those for my house. Amy can bring her matrices to the customer and say, well, here are all the different colors you can get. Like, which one do you like? And then she knows that as soon as she pops in the laser, it's going to give her exactly that color. And there's no sort of dispute about, oh, I thought the engraving would be darker, or even worse yet, like I thought it would be lighter. Because obviously, as Miguel said earlier, there's no way to, once you've engraved it too dark, there's kind of no going backwards, unfortunately.
Exactly.
So
you can always do a second pass to get it darker, but you cannot go lighter. So
exactly. It's like a haircut. You can always take more off, but you can't really put it back on once it's gone.
A wig doesn't look the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Johnny mentions, and he is exactly right, toast does engrave really well. But Johnny, what if you put some butter on that toast? Just saying. Throwing the gauntlet down.
Like, I cannot look at that picture and not think about, like, I don't know, I wouldn't say Bilbo, but like Frodo.
There's something really Lord of the Rings about it to you, eh?
Right? Yeah. I think it's like the nice green background and like the smile. Such a carefree smile.
It's a good photo. I did not cut through this material.
He's a Baggins for sure.
I don't know. He's like watching the stream, like he's able to see us like from above, whilst we're down here toiling. It's kind of like an Eye of Sauron sort of feel to me. I'm going to say like he's got kind of like the overseer thing going on. Here we go.
Are you okay, Don? Like you're
well,
sweaty.
Some of it's the sweater. So I didn't cut through. So what I'm going to do is turn this up. Hey, Miguel.
Yes.
Would you be able to? So if a customer asks you, they're like, "Hey, the settings that are in, Rayjet Manager that come with the machine, those are the ideal settings, right?" What would be your response to that customer? Because I've just made that.
Wait. Can you repeat the question?
Well, just sort of leading towards saying that like the settings that come with your machine,
Yeah.
like already set in, they are great, and we have tested them, but they are by no means like the empirical thing to go by, right? Like you
Absolutely
gotta,
Yeah.
you should feel free to test beyond that.
I mean, you should test, honestly. I think the default settings are pretty conservative in general. Correct me if I'm wrong, both of you, Amy and Thomas, but I believe it's really conservative. The default settings that come with the machine, right? Like you can improve those settings by a lot sometimes, especially production-wise. Like quality settings, they're too slow, man. Like extremely slow. I don't know why, but you can get the same result with like 40% speed more.
Yep.
So
That's very true. Just really quickly, sorry, before I forget, quick question in chat about Thomas's test matrix. We actually have that file that we can just give you if you like. I think we have it.
Can I put in the description of this video?
I was gonna say I think I actually have it. Yeah, like here on a link. So let me pull it up and I will see if I can just. Yeah, like Miguel says, worst case, I will just pop it in the YouTube video description and you'll be able to download it directly. There's also a similar one that Miguel and I use.
There's multiple different matrices. It's not just that. Like there's a circular matrix to test. The one that Thomas did, we usually test to see halftone with the order difference, right?
Yes.
Grayscale. We call that grayscale matrix. But there's the other one with the color settings for speed, power testing with 5% increments, speed and cut power testing as well, offset testing, Z offset, right? So we have multiple different matrices there.
Sorry.
I'm a bit tall for Baggins. Whoa.
Was that Johnny?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I have found it. So I will post it in the description of the video because I only have it in one format. So I'll save it as like an EPS or something that, regardless of the software you're using, you'll be able to access it and it'll be good to go. Okay. Okay. So, yeah, this looks cool. What I've done is, I'll show you. What I've done is I've forgotten to resize it based on the
the glove.
I have a patch, but it is quite small.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you see that?
Doesn't look too bad. Yeah. You gotta resize that for sure.
Yeah. But the effect, like the laser leather.
Yeah, the laser leather is pretty good, man. Like, I think you should offset a little bit. Are you offsetting anything?
So I have it offset. Let's see. No, I don't have it offset. You want me to?
Yeah, offset by like 0.02.
Okay. For the engraving?
Yeah. Everybody is wondering why I want him to offset. It's because I can see some engraving lines. So I want the engraving to be more even. So when you offset the Z to like a positive offset, it gives you a broader, what's the name? God, it's not a laser pointer. What's the name that we it's like spot size.
Spot size?
Yeah. There's a broader spot size. So that engraves on top of each line. So it makes more even, looks cleaner in the end result. So that's why. So 0.2 must be good because I didn't see a lot of lines, but when you see a lot of lines, that's what you should be doing. It happens more with Lemaquoids. Bin width, yeah.
0.02, right?
Yeah, 0.02.
All right.
0.02 would do the job. Usually we do 0.04, but I like the power setting, so I don't want to change it a lot. If you want, you also like put like 5% more power, just to also kind of offset the height difference from the focus point. Right? If it's getting further apart, you put a little bit more power.
Okay, here we go. So, just a really quick recap: 0.02 offset, and I will bump it up by 5% power.
Yep.
Done and done. Let's go. I want you guys to know, like, little tiny laser hack from your laser buddy Don. From the beginning, when I've gotten settings for this, what I should have done is do matrices, but what I've always used is just the Trolleys thins or like the Trolleys lights. And it tends to work really beautifully because they're almost exactly the same thickness. And this is not like this material, because it is two-tone, like Miguel is saying, is very similar to like a Lamicoid material. And it's always, served me pretty well. Obviously, I have Miguel here to help me to, fine-tune it, but it's a good starting place, I think. Okay, let's go.
So ideally, what we wanted to show you is how to use a one-color file to do a two-color engraving, and using a four-color file to do a four-color engraving.
And if I can...
Wait, one-color material.
Maybe I will... what I'll do is I'll take a piece of proper like Trotec wood this afternoon, and I'll engrave the nice four-color like Miguel's design file deserves, and I'll put that up with the patch. You guys can see it.
Oh, she put the Rayjet like right next to her now.
Nice. Yeah, that was always her chance to like take a breath.
There is another great lesson from the 1 hour challenge, guys.
Okay.
First of all, 1 hour, it's really too, you mentioned it already, but it's really too short. So you work under pressure, and so you make mistakes. My file is so not optimized for the engraving.
What, it's taking too long?
Oh yeah, I have 10 minutes of work.
Wow.
For something like 17 centimeter by 8, because I've separated to the far extreme of my board engravings, so the head will have to pass
all the way across.
Oh, did you also like flip it? Since it's 17 by 8, did you make it horizontal?
Yeah.
Was it
So
vertical?
the 17 is a high, and I have 4 pieces to make the layers. So
okay.
Yeah.
What?
I mean-
You're engraving 4 pieces?
Yeah,
Yeah,
just have like a
same
stand so it
a
stands up.
multi-layer, so you can stand up vertically by itself.
That was when he was
Okay.
describing his project earlier. Well, I was thinking like 'cause
You
when
didn't
you were
pay
describing
attention
it, when you were describing it earlier, you're like, it has to be able to stand up, and I almost looked at Miguel to be like, does it have to be able to stand up? Because we're in trouble. Like, no, I hope not. Ours doesn't stand up.
Wow. Everybody's mashadowing themselves. No,
Would
I
you
mean,
guys-
never Emmy. Emmy.
Yeah, you can
Emmy
see her
is
like
Emmy.
cleaning off her
Amy
engraving
is
right now.
setting
Just
the
like
standards.
Great.
Look at that.
beauty.
Professional.
Hold on, let me.
You're excellent.
Dad, you are excellent. There we
That's
go.
really good.
I have a question. How do you treat that afterwards? Because the wood is prepared for the heat, for the food. I mean, it's food safe.
Yep.
But if you need to protect that, because the engraving took off partially the surface, so do you treat it afterwards with an oil or something else? What do you think?
No, not really. I always just recommend any of my customers not to put it in the dishwasher, just hand wash it,
Yeah.
as it ruins the engraving on top.
I think one of the nice things about wood too is that it kind of gets a patina over time. So if it gets some stains or different things in it, it can actually just lead like to more beautiful like end result, like leather kind of thing, right? Over time as it wears, it actually looks more beautiful sometimes than it does when it's brand new. Would you guys be able to tell me, like, I know we're coming to the top of the hour here, but Thomas, you mentioned about not optimizing your file for the engraving.
Do you want to show the job on Ruby? I know you're using Ruby.
I was gonna say, supposing I knew someone, not me, who didn't necessarily know some of the tricks for optimizing a file for engraving. I mean, outside of, like you said, trying to go for, left to right. What are like the tips? Like, what are the go-to things for trying to make something faster?
To me, a go-to thing is, that the engraving you will do will be set on a certain speed. I mean, you will work 20% speed, 95% speed, depending on the power you will using. So that the head will have, like a printer, to pass every pixel from bottom to up first is my go-to tip, because you avoid with the air blowing too much dust to clean afterwards. So I go always from bottom to top when I engrave. And I try to gather everything either on a very short and vertical shape, so the head is very quick and go very fast from bottom to top. Or if I have very much information to engrave, I try to focus on a very wide but short, vertically short surface.
Okay.
But it's depending. It's case by case. It's not a golden rule to apply to everything, depending on every project.
A good tip that I can give you is that every job, before you run it, if you know it's going to take a lot, just rotate it and then update the time. If there's a huge change in the time,
Okay.
you know that's the correct one. I mean, using job control right now, Ruby doesn't have that yet. It doesn't have the calculation.
But then the fiber of the wood will be engraved on the opposite side. You see what I mean?
Yeah. So yeah, there is also that thing, but that is specific to wood, and that is something that everybody is gonna walk into.
Yeah.
You know, the
Try and error. I mean.
yeah, the wood grains
Yeah.
are something that you will walk into no matter what. Like when we did the cutting board, we did a video for a cutting board, and I was engraving deep enough to put a lima coat on top, right, to inlay. I had to test a lot until I found out a setting that had like a clean engraving that we could put the lima coat on top, and that like didn't have some weird grainy things in the middle. So you're gonna walk into that. What is
Yeah.
a natural material? So what can you do, right?
Coming back.
Absolutely. So Randy asked in the chat about the EPS file. Just for anybody who's interested, I'm going to put it in the description of the video, so it should show up like an hour or two after the stream, somewhere around there. I had a mention from the Outlaw, who says that he puts a wood wax on after he does engraving, which looks really beautiful. Johnny mentioned Danish oil, so it brings out the contrast. And then making it waterproof obviously is really nice, particularly like I said, for use with food. Then you're going to be cleaning it a lot, kind of thing. And then also a food grade finish. If it's a cutting board, it's just customers to cut on the other side. That is a really, really good tip. Actually, I don't know why I didn't think of that, but that's really smart.
That's what makes sense, right? Like
Yeah.
you have the engraving side to like for show, and then the other side to actually cut.
Exactly.
So-
And so you can like hang it up or display it with the one side, and then when you use it, you just flip it over and use the cutting side. I don't know if I'll be able to show this on our fancy cam here, but absolutely.
Yeah,
no
because
problem.
you're only one man doing like a whole show. That's
Not a whole show. You guys, I
Sorry about that, guys. Like, yeah, production today is kind of.
So I have to clean this yet, but
okay. Closer. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so as you guys can see, it engraves beautifully. I love the laser leather, man. Like I
dude,
think
it's so
it's
nice. And then I will swap back because I can show you guys.
2 minutes.
Absolutely.
No pressure at all.
Did it finish?
Yeah. Just
Excellent.
need to glue it now.
So it's going to be something like maybe I don't know what this logo is. Maybe over this logo, or I will I'll figure out some place to put it. Maybe, maybe it's on the palm as like a cool like hidden, like the lining of a jacket kind of thing. I don't know. We'll see, but I might have to do it one more time in a slightly smaller size just to, like my little tiny buddy here might be perfect size for sitting right
true.
there.
Nice.
Yeah. Amy, that breadboard is gorgeous. We had just while you guys stepped away, I don't know if you could hear us, but we had so there were some suggestions. So Outlaw mentioned using wood wax. Johnny mentions that he uses Danish oil. And then you also had a mention of food grade finishes, but that, if you were to give it to your dad to use as a cutting board, just tell him to turn it over and use the backside to cut on, and then keep the engraving side nice. I'm going to take this off because it is neither real leather nor real
90%
nice.
sure. I'm like 90% sure that the Outlaw is somebody from the company just trolling us. Like, or
Also,
at least you.
Yeah, the Johnny Troll account. So I have tried to play golf, which is what I'm gonna take that to mean, and I'm bad. I'm real bad. I'm real bad. I've never put in the time to get good. I love my parents very much, and so I have tried to go with them a whole bunch of times. And yeah, if there's a more frustrating sport in the world to play, I haven't found it yet. The like watching three people hit their balls dead down like the center of the fairway, and then like hooking yours into the forest, and like for the 10th time that day, having them be go, you know what, like it's okay, it's cool, like just take your time. Like, man, I can't hack it. It's not my deal. Mini golf, I will any day, but
I never played golf before. Like I said, I had to actually Google and learn some stuff for today, to see what type of text I would put in the design. And I saw a lot of the you're the best by par, and I was like, what is par? And then I learned. It's like, okay, bogey, par, like eagle.
Yep.
Because eagle, a bird. Actually, bird comes first, and then goes eagle, and then albatross.
Albatross, yeah.
There you go. And then hole in one, right? If you're pretty good.
Dude, I've had a hole in one. You don't have to be good. You just have to be lucky. I had a hole in one once in my life.
Don't, yo.
I'm just,
what's his name?
It's my flex.
Tiger Woods. Yeah. Tiger Woods is agree with you.
Yeah.
He can do hole in ones consistently.
The glue has to dry, of course. But this is roughly the idea.
Oh, that's beautiful, Thomas.
That's really nice. Oh, the layered effect is really gorgeous.
Love it.
Wow, this is pretty good. Yeah.
And I thought the
Nice.
layer effect was better than just engraving the scroll by itself, because then once it's dry, I think it can stand up. You don't need to put it on the wall. You don't need to put it on a frame. It's just an independent element of decoration, and you can put everything you want on it.
It's beautiful. You guys both, I love the stuff that, I mean.
I did it!
Yes. I was going to say, not only did you guys make it very beautiful stuff, but we made it in under the wire. You should be very, very proud of that. Remember, the official list, as long as it's in the laser, it counts, but.
There it is.
Very cool, man.
Beautiful.
Can we see the breadboard one more time? Maybe you still have it handy?
Yeah. When your kid grows up, you say, like, look what you did to me when you were like 6 months old or 3 months old. How old is he right now?
It's 7 in 9 days.
Ooh,
7
Very cool. Oh, you guys.
Man, it's so funny, right? Like we actually got the first Father's Day of Thomas on stream. Like the gift for himself.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice.
I got to say, too,
It was nice to be back, too.
absolutely. We're going to be hosting these, I mean, continuing on, at least once a month for the moment. But, going forward, that we're doing them less frequently, but that doesn't change the fact that we still want any suggestions you guys have. So if there's something you want to learn about what to do, if there's something you want to see us try, if there's something, a particular material you want to see us work with, whatever it might be, shoot us an email, youtube@troteclaser.ca. We're always excited to get your suggestions. We'd rather that than.
I had a question about the Trotec e-learning on Canada. Is it accessible for other countries too?
Yep.
Udemy? Yeah, absolutely.
The Udemy, yes. The Udemy, yes.
I will so mess with you.
It's free for all, man. Like, you just buy it. I think, yeah, we have people that bought it from Japan. I think, like, I can see the students like map. Right, let me see here, just a second.
Thank you guys again for anybody who decided to enroll. It's really exciting for us.
Yeah,
thank you. We really want your feedback too, if you can give it to us.
Yeah, we have like people from Brazil, we have people from South Africa, Australia, Japan, Greece, Malta, Switzerland, Germany. Yeah,
wow.
2 from Belgium, but yeah, it's not you yet. France, 1 from the UK. Canada, we have 9. We have more from like the US. From the US, we have like 27.
Wow. Thank you guys all so much. And keep in mind, everyone too, because you're friends of ours and you watch the streams and stuff, anybody who would like a coupon code or a discount code, shoot Miguel or I an email again, youtube@troteclaser.ca. We will get you a discount code 100%. Like no questions asked. Because realistically, like Miguel says, it's not just about Trotec lasers, it's about just, learning lasers. And so
yeah,
at the end of the day,
the Illustrator, sorry to interrupt, but in the Illustrator webinar that we did, we got a lot of interesting questions, and and so if the knowledge level goes up and we get more questions like these, like it's really nice. It's really fun to answer and like try those things like live. See, it actually works. That file that Randy gave us was like a nightmare. It actually worked. On Ruby.
Can I reveal, like when we were doing a training for some of the staff later in the week, Miguel actually busted out that file as like an example of like a tough one that you might get from a customer, just like worst case file scenario that you might see.
And how Ruby fixes that pretty easily.
Absolutely. So really quickly, I wanted to maybe cap things off here. I have as promised. So it doesn't split up the space as it should. So let me share, because I wanted to show you guys also, in case it is hard to see. I have Thomas on Instagram, but again, same on Instagram, same on Facebook, same, just the URL, right? You said enchantournord.be. Thomas does beautiful work, beautiful work, and principally in wood, but I mean, he's a very, very flexible, creative guy. So do not hesitate to check out his Instagram channel. He has a bunch of very cool stuff, and I assume is open to commissions of some variety.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. Enchantournord. Again, you can see it on the screen. Write it down. Memorize it. Same with very talented Amy Hill. What did I tell you guys about being an illustrator?
Yep.
Oh, man.
There she goes.
Dude, this one still blows me away, Amy. Like, I cannot begin to tell you. This is one of my favorite things that anyone has ever made on the design challenge.
Thank you.
Actually, I have to ask you, Amy, what do you think about the monthly challenges instead of like weekly? I can see that since we turned to monthly, you've been coming up with some like much more what was the word for that?
Intricate work?
Yeah, intricate work. Like,
look at this thing.
Easy
Super
time
intricate.
working and a little break.
Because you kind of, let me, since you're you have your business and you're always on Instagram, you kind of already have like the month theme on your head, right? So you already have some projects that you want to do, and then like when you say, okay, we're gonna do this, and you already, okay, I have a project that I want to try. So more ambitious, that's the word. Yeah, I can see like you getting more ambitious with your projects, and I mean they are working, so you're not shadowing yourself. You're actually with the right amount of ambition there.
Yeah. We'll be doing Christmas anytime soon now.
That's very true. We'll be coming up sooner than you think.
Yeah.
Halloween again. I don't know what we're going to do with top pumpkin
again.
pies from last year, but I know we'll come up with something. I haven't forgotten everyone also that I am still going to do the relay challenge. I am still going to make the three of them pass a design, like between the three of them to 20 minutes with this person, then 20 minutes over to that person, then 20 minutes over to the last person, and then we'll pop it in the laser and see what we get. I'm optimistic.
That'll be the New Year challenge. Right after Christmas.
Welcome to the final Rayjet challenge. Again, a huge thank you so much to Thomas and Amy and Miguel, as always, for joining us.
My pleasure.
We will be back again next month. As always, I don't know what the theme is going to be just yet, but we will keep you guys in the loop. Definitely check out both of our guests and ourselves on Instagram. I did not miss the Outlaw thing that's up on Instagram. I'm going to go check that out. I know that your engraving is going to look beautiful. If you guys have any other questions, leave them in the description or in the YouTube comments. Obviously, we'll get back to them as soon as we can. I'll put up that EPS as soon as I can. And, once again, thank you so much to everybody. Take care. Have a great one.
Bye.